recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZED Games AU.
Hey. You're listening to Zed Games. My name is not Maylee, I'm Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is
Hazel
and
Caroline.
That's right. There's a reason that I pretended to be Maylee for a second, and that was because Maylee was supposed to be the captain, but you know what? I am possessing the spirit of Maylee right now. I have different glasses on now, and funky earrings, and also I play a lot of board games.
You sure do.
I sure do. We've got a bit of a lot to go over tonight for Zed Games. We've got the Week in Gaming News, of course, but we also have, for those of you who don't know, so the Australian Game Developer Awards occurred last week, so we'll be talking a bit about that and some of the winners, which I'm really excited to go over. And then we're going to be talking about this really cool event that we checked out over the weekend as a crew. It was a ton of fun. You probably heard us bring it up a couple of times in the past couple of weeks. So don't you worry. We will tell you all about it.
Yes.
Including how much iced tea we drank.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So much. Too much.
But for now, we're going to listen to the Week in Gaming News, written by yours truly and brought to life by the fabulous Toby.
This week in gaming news: Valve VR, Metaverse isn't popular, Doom's on Notepad now, Splatoon gets a bit rowdy, and some AGDA winners. Valve VR. Valve has posted a job listing. Nothing new, except that it gives us a hint of what's to come, with the listing looking for someone to prototype, ship and support a virtual reality headset, saying,
"At Valve, we are pushing the boundaries of virtual reality experiences. The main scope of this position is to prototype, ship and support consumer gaming products leveraging visual inertial tracking, camera pass-through, environment understanding, eye tracking and hand tracking."
This certainly isn't Valve's first foray into VR, but it does signal a push to get ahead in the virtual reality headset market. Metaverse isn't popular. Decentraland, a metaverse project, hasn't exactly been flourishing. It's a sandbox environment where users can buy and sell virtual real estate and has a market cap of $1.2 billion. The number of active users over a 24-hour period? 38. Decentraland do point out that active users are defined as unique blockchain wallet addresses, which leaves out users who just use it as a place to socialize and hang out, which may bring numbers up to 8,000 users per day. Doom's on Notepad now. You've seen Doom on PC, consoles, calculators, pregnancy tests, and more. Now get ready for 60 frames per second Doom gameplay in Notepad, the very same Notepad you have at home. It is playable using text to create visuals, much like ASCII art. In very quick, simplified terms, Notepad is being used as a monitor, with other software running in the background doing the hard work. Splatoon gets rowdy. Nintendo had to release a public statement recently reminding players of Nintendo's streaming guidelines, and more specifically, how open streamers are to legal actions. Why? Streamers had started a trend of using chroma key to superimpose explicit adult videos over the enemy's ink, essentially treating it as a kind of green screen. As it goes against Nintendo's streaming guidelines, they can now take down posts, videos, and streams, and even pursue legal action. AGDA winners! The Interactive Games and Entertainment Association has announced the winners of the 2022 Australian Game Developer Awards. Judging goes through 70 game industry professionals, with winners from 13 categories announced, plus an additional 4 cultural awards, resulting in this year's awards being filled with the highlights of what Australia has to offer. Cult of the Lamb has left with 4 awards, including Game of the Year. Julian Milton, the creative director of Massive Monster, says,
"After experiencing our success overseas, it was an amazing feeling to see our game really resonate with Australians as well. We received such strong support locally and we love that it's being enjoyed, not just for gameplay, but also for the art and music."
Raymond Corrigan, the creator of Earth Lingo, won the Rising Star Award. Ryan McMahon, art director at Playside Studios, won the Ambition Award. Clara Reeves, CEO of Hipster Whale, has been recognised for ongoing contributions to the Australian games industry with the Adam Lanceman Award. And Gameloft Brisbane has come away with a Last Cultural Award with a Studio of the Year Award. And now for some upcoming games. Holy chapsticks, that's a lot of games. October 13, coming to PC, The Case of the Golden Idol, Goal, the Club Manager, Lost Elon, Sunday Gold, and Triangle Strategy. The Darkest Tales comes to PC, Xbox One, and Switch. The Eternal Cylinder comes to next-gen consoles, and Fueled Up comes to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And lastly, Cow the Kangaroo, Oh Well DLC, and Winter Games 2023 comes to PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and the Switch. October 14, coming to PlayStation and Xbox, NHL 23, and No More Heroes 3, coming to PC, PlayStation, Xbox, PGA Tour 2K23 Standard Edition. Saint Kotar is coming to all consoles. Dragon Ball The Breakers comes to PC, next-gen consoles, and the Switch. Scorn is coming to PC and Xbox Series X, and Taiko no Tatsurin Rhythm Festival is coming to the Switch. October 17, Destiny's Sword is coming to PC. October 18, A Plague's Tale Requiem is coming to PC, next-gen consoles, and the Switch. And Bureau Dreams and Marvel Snap are both coming to PC. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is coming to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And Them's Fightin' Herds is releasing for PlayStation, Xbox, and the Switch. October 19, The Last Worker, Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves Collection, and The Valiant are coming to PC, and The Last Hero Nostalgia is coming to PC and the Xbox. And lastly, October 20, Hell is Others and Pegasus Edition is coming to PC. Batora Lost Haven comes to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. The Jackbox Party Pack 9 and Warhammer 40,000 Shooters Blood and Teeth comes to damn near everything. And Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope comes to the Switch. And that's all this week in gaming news.
Thank you so much for that, Toby.
Thank you, Toby. This is why he's the funniest person on Zed Games.
This is
what a week.
What I was writing out the week and I was like, oh, geez, I don't want to have to try and say all that. And I was like trying to think of ways to I was like, which games would people not care about? And then Toby was like, I can do the recording. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. Here you go, Toby. So I just want to have a little round of applause for Toby because I have no idea how that sounds on the microphones. Well, I do have some.
Terrible.
It'll be fine. So, bit of a week in gaming news. I love that when you take out so about the Metaverse project. I love that if you take out all the people who are just not using it for its intended purposes, you have no one.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to say is that, like, 38 people are using it to, like, buy and sell stuff every day.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just hanging out, using it like Second Life or whatever.
Yeah. And
which I think is fine.
Like, do you think they...
But 8,000 also isn't that much.
No, especially not for a project that has...
$1.2 billion or something?
Yeah.
Worth?
Thereabouts.
Ugh.
That's,
a lot of money.
I'm not going to explain what market cap is right now.
Yeah, but I just want you to think for a moment, okay? So you've created this environment where people can buy and sell digital real estate. You know, like you can... Or maybe they have some auctions or something. But people are, like, broke. Like, the real estate market in real life isn't exactly popping off.
It's just a bunch of people hanging out in an auction room.
Yes.
There's an auction going on, but no one cares.
I like to think that they're having pretend auctions as well. Like, the users. They're like, all right, my dignity for $5. I think that's a lot more fun, honestly. Also, I didn't quite understand. I mean, I understand, I think. But virtual real estate, like, is it, Final Fantasy 14?
Mm-hmm.
I know of
Has a housing crisis just like real life.
Yes. Wait, does it?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a limited amount of real estate in Final Fantasy 14, and there is a housing crisis.
Can't they just make more?
They don't.
Can't they just print more money?
They could, but they don't.
I wonder why. Probably because it's an economy. Wow. Really makes you think.
Why are we here talking about economics?
Anyway.
And also, like, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I love that Doom's on Notepad now. Like, what's next? What is next?
Doom on a tattoo.
On a tattoo.
An electronic tattoo.
On Heelys.
You play it on the lights.
You know, I did see on the internet, there's like this brand of beer taps that like will go into bars and stuff. And they have a little monitor on them. And that's like, you know, tell you how cold it is and how full the keg is and stuff. But if you do this specific set of actions, you can play Pong on it. And I feel like the next step is to play Doom on that.
Yes.
Because that's just the natural progression of things.
You might need a couple of taps for inputs.
Maybe. However...
Literal tank controls.
This is my challenge that I'm issuing to the people, the listeners, you listeners. If you have one of these beer taps and a lot of free time and you don't mind voiding the warranty on it, perhaps make Doom run on it. Unless someone's already done that and I just haven't heard about it.
Who knows?
Who knows?
There's literally no way to find out.
No way to find out.
No, not in this day and age.
No.
Can I talk about the Steam VR thing for a sec?
Yeah.
Because
a literal second?
Feel like Steam has figured out how to do the hardware market now.
Well, yes.
Wait for someone else to do something really good and then do it even better.
And that's all you really need to do. You don't need to come up with the idea. You just need to do it better.
That's what they did with the Steam Deck. They were like,
that is true.
You know what? You know what's great and that people love to buy and spend money on? The Nintendo Switch. What if it could run every game on Steam?
I want a Steam Deck.
Bam.
I need to play more games on the toilet.
Well,
which is what a Switch is for, basically.
Well,
moving along.
Do you listeners play games? Of course you do, listeners. We're going to be talking a bit more about the Australian Game Developer Awards. Now, the Australian Game Developer Awards are...
awards, I'm assuming.
Awards. Yeah. Run by the Interactive Games and Entertainment Association. With Cult of the Lamb grabbing four of those awards with their tiny little hooves.
A sweep.
They're cloven hooves.
I think. Are they?
Wait, no, they're not.
They're not.
I don't know. I shouldn't say things. I know nothing.
Well, we do know some things, such as the fact that not only did Cult of the Lamb get Game of the Year, Cult of the Lamb also got Excellence in Art, which isn't a surprise. It's a they've managed to create a very distinctive, very cutesy, very appealing art style.
It's so good.
It really is. And like, you had actually reviewed Cult of the Lamb earlier.
I did.
And
I loved it.
It's just such a good game. It's such a good looking game.
So good.
As well as excellence in art, they also got excellence in gameplay, which is, I feel, look, a game can look really good, and you can have a great concept for a game, but gameplay, it's always the part I get a little fussy about, because if it just doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right.
It's the plot that you play of the game.
Yeah. So
that's
it's like,
the main bit.
Yeah, if you're not having fun playing the game, then... I mean, look, I'm just remembering...
Should we ask the question, should games be fun?
I'm not ready to open that Band-Aid again. Should games be fun? Do games have to be fun? No. Does it help? Yes. As well as that, they also got excellence in music. So that is a very well-rounded selection of awards that Cult of the Lamb have gotten to go home with, which is really cool.
They can slap some of those on the box art.
Yeah. Well, not on Steam.
Not on Steam. No, not on Steam. I mean, like physical
copies, like on the back where you check, you're trying to read a summary of the game, but instead they just have testimonies. Well,
what?
You know when you like?
I played this game and my wife left me.
No, yes,
that sort of thing.
Yeah, because you know how books have that, and they don't have like a little a little what's the word? Summary of
Blurb?
A blurb. They don't have a blurb. They have testimonies from people who are like, this book changed my life. Did Cult of the Lamb change your life?
You know what? Yeah, it did.
Oh, there we go. That's another award for it.
Yeah.
Did it change my life award? I'm pitching that to
I played this game and I woke up in an ice bath missing a kidney.
Well,
I'd rather not.
That
honestly,
is life-changing.
I'm saving my kidney in case I need to, trade it for something nice, like maybe a PlayStation 5.
Well, okay, look, we'll discuss how much a kidney can get on the black market, but I think you could get a bit more than a PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5 and a controller?
Yes, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe even a fancy decal to put on the PS5. You know the ones that like you just slap that on and you're like, ooh, now my PS5 is camouflage. You can't see it.
No, I don't want camouflage. No.
Oh. Some of the other awards includes. I'm just gonna read through the list because I feel like it's just good to recognize what we have been made in our backyard, like such as do you know who got excellence in narrative?
Me.
No, actually, that's unless you change your name to Wildflowers.
Oh, that is a good name.
It's a really good name, and I know that I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it, and now I want to go check it out. If you've played Wildflowers, let us know, and we'll go wild about it.
It's a farming and witchcraft simulator.
Oh, how have I not heard of this?
That's so good. Wildflowers is like, look at the spelling of wild is WYLDE. So it's like, for a moment I thought that was a name, like a person name. But
yeah, the way you were saying it, I thought it was a name too.
Yeah, I thought it was for about 2 seconds. And then I realized that it's not. But
it could be a name though.
It could be a name. Listeners, if you're trying to come up with a name for your child,
I could rename myself to Wildflowers.
Oh, you could.
It also has romance.
Oh.
I'm just reading the Steam page for it right now.
Can you smooch?
Moving on.
Who knows? Find out.
Moving on, we also have excellence in sound design that goes to Heavenly Bodies, which I don't know. Have we played anything? Hazel, why don't you... I can see you Googling it. Just like
use those functional thumbs. Do a Google.
And I feel like I need to point out sound design is very different to a soundtrack. Very different things. Like
it's the ambiance.
It's the ambiance. It's like all the little sound effects. It's the talking. If there's voice lines, how well they're performed. It's everything you hear that isn't music. And stuff like that can like really, really make or break a game. How many times have you muted the menu in a game?
Oof.
I know of one time that I did it very recently.
Oh yeah, Among Us.
Among Us.
Oh,
that was the worst title screen.
It was stressing me out. I couldn't.
So loud.
I couldn't think.
Yeah.
I can tell you that Heavenly Bodies is a puzzle game, a physics game about being a cosmonaut and floating around with no gravity, doing tasks in space.
Oh,
so not like a star dating simulator, which is what I thought it was initially.
Well, it could be.
Could be.
You'll have to play it and find out.
We might talk about it later.
I want to smooch a constellation.
You can smooch the constellations, or you can blow a kiss.
No.
Mwah.
Lips gotta touch.
No, but like
otherwise it's not a real smooch.
Are you telling me that all the blow kisses I've sent to space aren't reaching space?
They are reaching space, but they're blown kisses. They're not a proper smooch.
Well, like I think
lip-to-lip contact is a smooch.
Well, I think you're gatekeeping smooches.
I am.
Yeah, like
nobody can pass.
Well, get out.
It's my gate now.
Get out of here.
Make me.
Hazel, help me drag Carolina out. We also got excellence in accessibility, which was presented by Vic Screen. It's for a game called Lost and Hound.
And Hound, I do know about.
Oh?
It's a game about sniffing out things. You are a little corgi.
Aww!
But the entire game is meant to be accessible. Like, it's meant to play basically the same if you're blind or if you can see.
Oh. Oh, cool. So a little bit like the, what was the game that Melee reviewed recently?
Rat?
Blind Drive?
Blind Drive.
The rat driving a car?
Yeah, the
which
rat driving...
I just remembered isn't actually a real rat.
Yeah,
but
like you're a lab
that's
rat.
what I remember.
Yeah, we made up the rat part.
Yeah. But like, in my heart, it's a rat.
Yes.
You're a rat.
Yes.
And you're driving a car. Which is like, it's really, like, I believe the Excellence in Accessibility is a relatively new award. It's only been like a category, I think, for only a few years. And it's just like, it's cool. It's kind of like, we're recognizing games that can be played by people of, like, well, people with disabilities. People who, because games is it's fun. A lot of games are fun. Most of the time. A lot of games are quite fun.
Yes.
Except when they aren't.
When they aren't. But look, everyone should be able to experience games, even if they're fun. Especially if they're fun. Even if they're not fun. Alright? Everybody should be able to.
Yes.
I'm looking at some of the more obscure awards. And I just want to point out that there's one called Excellence in Serious Games.
Ooh, so serious.
In brackets, applied or impactful.
Does that mean you just cried? Like, if
I
you
don't
cried while
know.
you're playing the game?
I don't know.
Or is it just like it covers a serious topic? Because I
guess.
think a
What's
lot
a
of
serious
games.
topic though?
Well,
like,
the winner is a game called Kinda World, which I know nothing about.
I just want to kind of go on about this serious games thing, because I feel like the plot in a lot of games are quite serious. Like, Spyro had to deal with all the dragon eggs being stolen. That's pretty serious.
And he's just a baby.
He's just a baby.
That's so much responsibility for a baby.
It's really stressful, actually, when you really think about it.
Yeah.
And the reason that they sent him is because he was the only one who was small enough to fit down the rabbit holes. So
why didn't they just dig out the rabbit holes to make it bigger?
Get out of here. Leave.
No.
Yeah. And also, I feel like I have to mention this one, but Excellence in Emerging Games, which is usually done by a student or someone very early in their career, was Queer Man Peering into a Rockpool.jpg, which is I just love that. It's such a good name.
That twinged a thing in my brain.
We're going to be talking about the very first SpringCon 22. Which we had attended on Saturday. Yes, 5 of your Zed gamers went to go check out everything to do with tabletop gaming, role-playing games, board games, and all the gear and accessories and all the side hobbies you could possibly crave or imagine or want. If you're someone who is interested in these hobbies, because they're pretty fun hobbies, this was definitely the place to go to be introduced to the amount of passion, support, knowledge, skill, history that was brought by everyone who attended. SpringCon was organized by Springfield Gamers, and also sponsored by Epic at Switch, which is this huge play space where they're constantly hosting like 40k, Warhammer, tabletop,
the
D&D.
Yu-Gi-Ohs. They have
Yu-Gi-Ohs.
Yu-Gi-Oh every Thursday. I saw
Magic
a
as
thing.
well.
Magic as well. There's also like D&D and various
If
other...
you play it on a table with other people, you can probably play it at Epic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's no entry fee.
There's no entry.
And they have a cafe.
They have a cafe. They have a restaurant. It
looks so good.
It's something I want to check out. It's a little bit out of the way for us, but like if you're in the Ipswich area,
go there.
Lucky
go check
you.
it out.
Yeah.
Because like one of the very first questions I asked was like, what if I'm completely new to the hobby and I have no friends in this hobby and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm terrified and I'm here, and they're just like, someone will adopt you into the table immediately. You can just step in there and be like, hi, and someone will be like, you want to come join our game? And you can.
Yeah.
They'll help you. There's people, it's run by people who are really passionate about it. And if you just want to have like a cool, funky space to go hang out and have like a cup of coffee and some food, then you can also do that too. It's perfect. It's pretty ideal. And us three had spent quite a lot of time just going around from table to table, just checking things out, having a chat with people. I got introduced to games I've never even heard of, and I thought I knew about a fair amount of them. Turns out I only know about like 10% of them. So, but now I know about, I think 35% of them.
Well,
yeah.
Honestly, when I walked into SpringCon, my first, like, after walking around a little bit, my first thought was, I wish that I was someone who, like, wanted to play board games for the first time, and this was the first event that I attended about it.
Yeah.
Because, oh my god, it was so just positive.
Yeah, it was just
positivity.
Everyone was
so
there
welcoming,
to have fun, and
so good.
It was a ton of fun. There was a terrain making demonstration where this artist would actually teach you how to carve out foam, glue it together, and also some basic like sanding and painting techniques, so then you could make your own elaborate terrain for whatever game you're playing. And we didn't actually get a chance to talk to her properly because she was so busy with people who were just like, I want to give that a go.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
I wanted to talk to her so bad.
Yeah.
No time.
I saw
so busy.
At one point there was nobody sitting there for the first time in hours, and I walked over and she was eating her lunch, so she had stopped doing the workshops, and I was like, actually, I'll come back later.
Yeah.
And then I tried to come back later, but literally every time someone got up, a new person sat down, and I was like, I don't want to take up time that could be spent teaching these beautiful people to create terrain.
Yeah. I'm hoping that like next year, fingers crossed, we'll be able to have an opportunity to have to go through the workshop, because like that looks like a lot of fun.
I want to learn it
there
so
was
bad.
so much amazing terrain, like miniatures, dioramas, everything on display there, and like we're going to be posting photos of it to our Facebook and Instagram because it is just amazing.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not the only thing. There was also tons and tons of various board games, tabletop RPGs that you could like sign up for and then just hop in with this group of people who might not have ever met before.
There was a tournament going on.
There was a tournament
and the
going
prize was a whole table worth of terrain.
Yeah,
and
with like
miniatures.
with a whole map and everything.
Yeah,
and I was just
map,
like,
that's the word.
Dang, I wish I could participate because that looks awesome. Maylee was able to play about 2 to 3 games, I believe. And she had an absolute blast. Like every time I swung by just to like catch up with her, she was just having so much fun. Just, I don't even know what she was, I think she was playing Call of Cthulhu at some point. And the first game was a game that she's never even played before. And I wish I could remember what it was called, but like she had an absolute blast playing this game that she's never played before. And if you have ever hosted a party with board games, you probably recognize how difficult it is teaching a board game to a group of people.
Ooh, yeah.
And these people were doing it all day with a fresh group every single time, which is a tremendous amount of effort. There was also a few food trucks as well, which was like, I immediately saw the iced tea stand, which had the most amazing iced tea.
That was very good.
And you could get these
too much.
you could get these cups. They're like about half a liter, 500 milliliters of iced tea, and you could get a refill for half price.
Yeah.
Which I took full advantage of.
Same.
They also had one of my favorite sort of like, it's not really a carnival, but one of my favorite carnival foods, which is a potato tornado. It's really good. And they had like a, what did you two have?
I had brisket on a bun.
Yeah.
Like a hot dog, but with brisket. And yeah.
Yeah.
I could have died happy right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
I had some grilled chicken kebabs from the same place. There was a charcoal barbecue place there, which I believe was called Charcoal Invaders.
Yeah.
And they're normally based in Sunnybank. But also, for people it's not their first time playing board games or in such an organized way, there were like buy, swap, sell tables, and like people just bringing board games from home, sitting down and like, hey, do you want to play with me?
Yeah, it was
because like everyone who loves board games knows how hard it is to get people to play it with.
Yeah. I actually felt quite bad that I sort of designated myself as like, all right, I'm going to talk to people and take photos, and I really appreciate you helping me out with that, you two. Because like I just wish we had more time. It was just such a tremendous effort with all these players and creators, and there were like people who were selling these beautiful dice and 3D printed gear that you could use to like enhance whatever you're doing, whatever game you're playing,
and dice bags that you stored the dice in the butt of the creature.
Yes, they had a little sphincter cord thing. It was we're children.
Yeah,
it was just an absolute joy. And when Neil, the organizer, had his little speech in the afternoon where he was just thanking everyone for such a fantastic turnout, and everyone was just waving and cheering at the end. I was just like, this is community. This is a wonderful community that we've created, full of nerds who just like want more nerds to play with them.
In conclusion, I hope it happens every year.
Yes.
If you're listening, please invite us again next year.
Please, Neil.
We actually got to say goodbye and good night
Goodbye.
and farewell.
Good night.
Bye.
Farewell.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at Zed Games AU.
See you next time.